From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Nerds Doing Nerd Things. It's Susie and myself. We're doing House of Dragons again. I think it's episode 4 already.
It is episode 4. You and I are doing okay. It has been
Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
It has been cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs all day today. So, yeah.
So, how you doing? I know you just saw this episode. It's called The King of the Narrow Sea. And, I saw it last night after my league events on iRacing, and you, I think, just said you watched it, like, within a couple hours ago.
Yeah, I did. I have now taken to watching it just before we do this, so everything's fresh in my brain, and I can come up with really awesome questions for us.
Yeah, I saw it last night right before bed, and I stayed up through the whole thing. I was very shocked, but I was very shocked on really how fast this episode went. Like, it was an hour and 8 minutes at when you cut off the... Yes, Susie?
I had 40 minutes left. Hit the pause button and went, oh my god, I have 40 minutes left? I feel like this is the whole episode.
So, completely two different things of the spectrum there.
I literally thought, I don't know why, but I thought like that first, 20 minutes. I'm fine.
Well, let's get right into it. Miss Susie, you made questions once again.
Of course I did. So what are your thoughts on the contenders for the hand?
For her hand.
For her hand, yeah, her
Okay.
hand and
Okay, because there's a different hand that I want to talk about at the end of the episode. But I like the little kid. Thought he was gonna die. Come to find out, he can wield a sword. He turned the other guy into a freaking kebab. And
I'm sorry, I had a Robert Baratheon moment when I watched that. Robert Baratheon got skewered by a boar.
yeah, I understood that.
Okay, that was my moment.
But I was more of a... I get why she's being made to go through all this, and I understand it, but you can tell she does not want to be there. She wants to pick her own suitor. She's playing Jasmine right now.
So actually, she is getting... That whole thing is for her to pick her suitor.
Yeah, but they're lined up for her. She wants to genuinely...
So her problem with that, I don't think was so much... It was why they were there. Like, they literally took everyone they thought would be the best fit politically for her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not what she wanted.
No.
And, I mean, you learn later in the episode what she really wants and everything else, and I'm gonna leave it there, but I was kind of impressed with the choices that they had, because it ranged from like young to old, and you could listen to her commentary between each one.
That was comical as shit.
That was kind of awesome. I kind of dig it. She's so far, like, I really like her as a character.
So do I. Granted, there's some stuff that happens in this episode.
I'm not a huge fan. She has very little, like, her character development is little and then huge and then little and then huge. And like, this is one of those episodes where it's little and then huge. And then you're like, who are you and what did you do with her?
You're not wrong with that, because she completely takes a 180 about 30 minutes into this episode.
Yeah, so it's definitely interesting. My computer auto-corrected, so I apologize. The next question was supposed to be thought on Daemon's and Viserys' relationship, and that's not what it put. Didn't catch it until just now, so I'm sorry.
Well, go ahead and answer it.
So I hate their relationship. I think that their relationship beginning, like their first 3 episodes, very honest, very truthful, very, it's out in the open. Like they don't hate each other, but there's no lost love.
You're talking about the king and his brother.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the king loves him. The brother is just using the king.
I think in his own way, Damon loves his brother. I don't think it's so much intentional use. More like accidental, like unintentional, like totally unconscious level of use. But I think that in this episode, it was very forced.
Yeah.
It was very, he wanted, like Damon wanted to get on Viziri's good side, and now I want to know why. Like, it seemed like there was a motive.
Oh, I think there's 100% a motive, and I think I know exactly where it's going.
I don't think it's going where you think it's going.
I think Damon's going to be the next hand of the king.
Well, maybe. I don't know. That I don't know. But I definitely like. See, I don't think Damon knows about what's like. He doesn't know about the hand thing until the end, and I don't think anybody actually knows until the next episode, like what's going on. But we know that there's a time skip between, I think, this episode and the next episode.
Yeah, I think every 2 episodes there's a time skip kind of thing.
This one's going to be significant. It's like 10 years.
Really?
Yeah, because they're changing the actresses for Rhaenyra and Alicent.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I'm waiting to see how this plays out. I'm really still annoyed that we haven't seen a freaking Game of Thrones wedding. Like, I don't want a red wedding, but I want a wedding.
Oh,
like,
I think they're saving it. I think they're 100% saving it.
So the next question, you talked about Damon and Viziri's relationship.
Yeah.
So my next question is, what about Rhaenyra and Alicent's relationship? Now we know that they were friends before, Alicent, banging her father.
Well, technically I don't think it's her doing it. I think it's him doing it.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
I think she's just the sleeping bag there. But it looks like they're still friends, and Alicent still wants what's best for Rhaenyra, but she's still got to think about that she's the queen and has the king to answer to.
Yeah, but I think they've come to an understanding in their relationship. So, like, Alicent is more on Rhaenyra's side than she is on the king's.
And she's at least, I think she's playing both sides very well. I don't know if it's a game to her. I feel like she's very truthful and honest to Rhaenyra, but I feel like she's just a robot to...
She's a robot for her father. And we know as outsiders, like, what Otto Hightower's full purpose was behind placing her in that room while he was grieving. While the king was grieving. But it's interesting to me that they were able to evolve their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last episode, it was very stiff, very formal, very like, I don't want to deal with you.
Yeah.
This episode, they're more touchy-feely, they're more talking, they're more, this is more on the lines of, I don't have an example. I don't have an example anymore.
You literally lined it all the way up, and it was like, yeah, never mind.
Well, because the only example that I have is like Catelyn Stark with Sansa.
Yeah.
That is like really the only true example that I have, and it doesn't fully fit.
I can see it, but I think Caitlyn was more of a B word.
Caitlyn was matriarch through and through. Alicent has not fulfilled matriarchal duties. And I don't mean, laying down, having a baby. Like, that, I don't mean that. I mean, like, actually running a household.
Mm.
Caitlyn ran a household.
Yeah, she ran
Well,
that
she
whole
answered
side of the
her
kingdom.
husband. Her husband also answered to her, and you don't see that back and forth between the king and Alicent, and
No.
it bothers me.
So where are we going the next?
Holy crap, secret passageways.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
I was like, dude, and you knew who left her the note. So
Yeah.
we're not that you knew who left her the note.
I figured.
I'm still like, dude, secret passageways. Can I come live in your castle?
I don't know about that. I don't know. I don't like where it ended up. Those next 5-10 minutes, I thought I was watching something you'd find on like an incognito browser on somebody's phone.
I mean, yeah. There was one section that I did fast forward through. I'm gonna be dead honest. But it was when they got back to the castle that I fast forwarded. I had no problem with anything else that happened. It was when Rhaenyra got back to the castle that I fast forwarded because I was like, no, I'm not okay with this. So my question for you, AJ.
Oh shit.
Does Alicent Hightower remind you of Sansa Stark, while Rhaenyra is like Arya?
Kind of. Honestly, I think both of them remind me of Sansa more than any one of them being Arya, because I feel like they're both playing the long game, while Arya was more do shit now.
So Arya also played the long game.
Well, no, I'm aware of that. I'm just more of thinking about the whole show in general.
Think about just the first season of Game of Thrones. Like, Alicent Longhaul is really the last season Sansa Stark, but Rhaenyra, first season Arya.
I mean, I can see your point of view on that. I like how they have callbacks from the other series into this and kind of like the same character development.
The minute Rhaenyra left the castle and went exploring in the streets, I was like, Arya, I'm done.
Yeah, that's kind of where I see it as well.
You're freaking Arya. You understand your duty. You just don't want to. Is the brothel like Littlefinger's, or do you find it different? Do you find it better than Littlefinger's, or do you prefer Littlefinger's?
This is a loaded question that I hope my wife never hears. This one was weirder because at least Littlefinger's had some sort of privacy. This was just like a for everybody wanting to know what we talked about yesterday. We talked about the boys. This was Herogasm.
It was Herogasm. That didn't answer my question.
Littlefinger's, because there's privacy. If there's like balls and boobs everywhere, I'm gonna be like, I don't belong. I don't have the money for this.
See, I prefer Littlefinger's because of the privacy. But the other thing is the last thing that happens in the end of this episode might not have happened if, they were at Littlefinger's. Saying. Just putting that out there.
I don't know. It started in the brothel, and then
she went.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see the ending coming?
No. Nope. And Jessica, right as they were heading towards there, she goes, "Oh, that's right, they're Targaryens." And I'm like, what is that supposed to mean? And then I understood what that meant. There's
I'm talking about the end of the episode, not the end of that scene.
Oh. Well, shit.
Not wrong. However, it's not just the Targaryens that do that, so I would like everybody to keep that in mind, that it is not just Targaryens that do that.
But no,
get out of here.
At the end of the episode, I kind of had a feeling it was coming because every road was pointing to the Hand being relieved of his duties with everything that they were saying.
Well, I mean, Auto Hotire, in some aspects, reminds me of
Littlefinger.
no, Lannister.
Jamie?
No,
Tyrion.
the father, Tywin.
Tywin.
Manipulative.
You
Very underhanded manipulation.
ain't wrong at all, but I'm really curious going into episode 5 who is going to be the hand and how much is different, because if it's a time jump like you're saying it's going to be, are we just going to lead right into Game of Thrones after the first season? Because I'm hoping for multiple seasons of this.
So this is the War of the Dragons. So we will see War of the Dragons.
Hope so.
So whereas Game of Thrones was really the Song of Ice and Fire, this is basically a Dance of Dragons. And I'm actually looking forward to that fight. I think we'll have more than one season. Like, I think this will be spanned over a couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to cover more than just that fight, because the whole Targaryen line encompasses years of history and strife and problems. I do have one final question for you, AJ.
Uh-oh.
Were the sex scenes in this better than in Game of Thrones?
I don't know. I'm one of the people that seek. Nope, it's still going on. Seek. Okay, it's done. I don't really watch those. That's when I pulled my phone. I was like, this is inappropriate. And I'm being completely serious. You could even ask Jessica. We're laying down, watch it, and it's like, oh, they're getting Facebook. Yeah, I don't. PDA bothers me.
See, PDA on the TV doesn't bother me. PDA in real life bothers me.
PDA bothers me everywhere.
I don't understand my own thing with that, but one of the things that I did like about this one is that it wasn't as hot and heavy as it was in Game of Thrones, at least this episode.
This episode felt like half of it was.
But it felt like they were giving you glimpses without giving you the whole thing. Like, they were actually taking, they were paying more attention to the story than they were to, oh, let's just throw this in here.
Yeah.
Like, that's, it didn't feel like it was forced. It felt like, oh, this is the natural path that this would take. You know? Also gave us an inside look into the king and queen, so, I did like that.
That's true. So, overall, Susie, since I think that was your last question, right?
Yeah, it was.
Out of the 4 that have come up so far, where does this rank? Because I'm still going with last week's as my favorite so far.
Last week. And the only reason last week will probably forever be my favorite is the man of no words carrying the whole episode on his back.
Pretty much. He's been carrying the whole series.
I mean, him and the actress who plays Rhaenyra, really.
But I can't wait for next week. Loving this series so far. I'm very happy that I got into Game of Thrones, where I finished it, and the next week this started. So I'm all in. It's stupid. I was actually going to bring the bottle of wine and be like, it's in the other room, I thought. But any final things before we close her up?
Great. Now I'm thinking of the first episode. I hate you.
What first episode?
I'm gonna let you think about that one. I'm good. I have no more questions. I have nothing more to say. You could find me confusing AJ because it's fun.
Yeah, fuck off.
No.
All right, well, we'll send you to Rob Paulson real fast.
Hey, you guys, this is 625 here from Lilo and Stitch. Some people think of me as A.J. Coppola. I don't care. Just follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, Twitch at NDTA JalisStar15, and Xbox and PSN at AJ All-Star 15. I should have said AJ All-Star, but I'm a sandwich maker. What the hell do I know? Do yourself a favor. Go get yourself a hot fudge marshmallow tuna fish and ham sandwich. All right? Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
All right, everybody, that was episode 4 of House of the Dragon on HBO Max. Join us.
Part of it.
Hi, Rusty. Join us next Wednesday for episode 5 and that recap. I'm loving the series so far, like I said, but we'll see you guys then. Comment below and let us know what your thoughts of the episode so far and which one your favorite is. But until then, deuces, everybody.
Bye.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.